So we are here on the second day of energy at COP30 in Belém, in the Amazon, in Brazil. And we are here at the Net Zero Nuclear Pavilion. It is an honor to have Hideki Matsui, who is the president of Japan Atomic Industrial Forum. Thank you, Matsui-san, for joining us here today. So let me ask you a little bit about your impressions of COP30. So, so far, uh, in terms of nuclear energy and how nuclear energy is positioned, what are your impressions here at COP30?
Okay, this may sound a little bit naive, but I was surprised at the scale of the event and also the scale of the attendance. And I took this position, the president of the JAIF last June, and however, I didn't have a chance to come to the COP29 held in Baku because of the schedule conflict. So actually, this is my first time to come here. And I was told yesterday this COP attracts the second highest attendance in the history of the COP. Yeah, next to the COP28 held in Dubai. So I think it's a very big conferences. And also, in terms of the nuclear power, I see at least four dedicated booths to the nuclear power, like IAEA and WNA and the N4C and IYNC. So also that I realized when I checked out the program of that, there is a lot of the event is going on related to nuclear power. So that means in a word, nuclear power has a very strong foothold in the COP event.
So, given the urgency of climate action, what outcomes do you hope to achieve at COP30, in particular for the nuclear sector, but in particular, of course, for Japan?
Oh, okay. It depends on the definition of the outcome. If it means to the tangible outcome, like final documentation or declaration, I hope that the role of nuclear power as effective measures against the global warming is maintained or even strengthened. But if we're talking about the intangible outcome, it's fair to say we have already achieved a certain degree of the outcome right here, because again we have the four dedicated events and booths, and we have a lot of event is ongoing. So I think again the nuclear power has a very strong presence in the COP30 event.
Yeah, I think I agree. It's optimistic. I mean, I feel optimistic being here. So let's talk about nuclear energy in the Japanese energy strategy. So, could you share how the Japan Atomic Industrial Forum (JAIF) is working with stakeholders to ensure that nuclear energy remains a viable and publicly supported component of Japan's energy mix?
Okay, I think there is no magic formula to get the acceptance of the people in Japan, because always nuclear power is a very, how can I say that, argumentative issue. And however, I think that personally the key is the education. And okay, in Japan, there some people check the high school textbook, and all the textbook has a certain degree of the certain part is dedicated to the nuclear power as well as the energy. But it appears the last part of the textbooks, so that the high school teacher cannot really cover that material because of limited class time. And moreover, when I talk to the high school teacher, they are not really confident how to teach students about the energy issue. To address this issue, the JAIF is conducting the outreach program called delivery lectures. We have the dedicated and professional lecturer. We are sending them over to the university and to give them the student to the lecture 60 minutes or 90 minutes. And the effect is very outstanding, because before and after, if you compare, we took the questionnaire, so the difference is quite obvious. So the more, most of the students think they are more how can I say it, aware of the energy issue and more supportive of the nuclear energy. But the problem is we have just three dedicated lecturer. So that means we can only cover the 0.1% of the entire university student. So recently I realized that in Japan there are some, the nuclear-related organization like a utility and also the other association are conducting the very, very similar activity, initiative. So we can join force and coordinate in a strategic manner. We can make more and meaningful impact on the next generations of understanding the nuclear power.
Wow, that looks like a fabulous initiative, and I think that it makes a lot of sense because in this COP30, as you know, we are focusing on the people. We are focusing on addressing the questions of the people. So I think that you guys in Japan are doing a very, very excellent job.
Thank you.
So let me go to our joint goal to triple global nuclear capacity by 2050. So, from JAIF's perspective, what are the most critical global actions, whether it's policy, whether it is financial, technical, regulatory? What are the most important actions that must be coordinated in order to achieve this global tripling goal for nuclear?
I see. You have just mentioned the policy, regulation, and the finance, human resources, and maybe the supply chain. They are all important. They are equally important. So I think that they are, I can say, all the necessary and sufficient condition. So let me say, from my perspective, the most critical issue is for the like-minded country to join together and the coordinate in a very strategic manner. So no single country cannot really achieve its goal without the mutual cooperation. For example, Japan is contributing the first program. It's led by the United States Department of State. The purpose of that program is helping the newcomer country to deploy the SMR. And we are not really the cooperating partner, and there is some other country, Korea and UK and Finland, maybe more. And so that means we are making the consolidated effort to help the newcoming country to deploy the SMR. That is one example. And I think the wide agreement among the like-minded country is essential. However, what is more important is turn agreement into concrete actual action. Yes.
No, I agree. I think that cooperation is essential in everything, particularly this is why we are here at COP30 to work together, and in nuclear is just as important. So let me focus on Japan because obviously I think that Japan has lots of experience, lots of know-how. So how can we contribute this Japanese experience and expertise in nuclear technology? How can this be used to contribute to international efforts, particularly in the areas of safety, innovation, and public engagement?
Okay, let me tell you JAIF has three very important business domain, and one of them is dedicated to the international cooperation. And we have a very long-standing good relationship with other country association, including, of course, the WNA. And we have, how can I say, we are going to push forward this effort so that we can more have the strong tie with other associations. But let me introduce another organization called the JAIF International Cooperation Center. That is the name is very similar, but basically a different organization. And I'm holding the CEO of the JAIF at the same time the CEO of the JICC. Well, the JICC's role is to help the new coming countries to help to deploy the nuclear reactor. And we have a very good record actually. The JICC is established in 2009. And we have a very good record. And looking back 16 years after the establishment, we have invited almost 2,000 people from 49 countries to Japan, and we've held 400 seminars domestically as well as internationally. And JICC is a very, very small organization, but we have the very strong guiding principle that is a one-stop service as well as the tailor-made service. And we are the very small, but we know who is who in the nuclear industry of Japan. So depending on the interest of the countries, we can arrange any kind of a seminar or any kind of a technical tour. And JICC and JAIF is all together under my supervision and under my leadership. We will continue this effort to make the more meaningful international cooperation.
Well, a great effort. So thank you for that leadership at a global, international level. So let's focus on Japan a little bit. So tell us a little bit about what is the situation in Japan right now with the restart of all the nuclear power plants.
Okay, I see. In short, and there is right now we have 14 reactors up and running, and after the safety upgrade work, which is coming from the, of course, lessons learned from Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant accident, and aside from that, we have the 12. 12 units are in pipeline. Pipeline means somewhere in the middle of the licensing review, and others are done with the licensing review. And aside from them, we have 10 reactors which has a potential to restart in future. So that means the maximum theoretical number is restarted nuclear power plant, including constructed one, under the construction, is 36. Yes. So the good news is I think the last at the end of the year 2024 we have 2 units restarted. They are all BWLs. And before that, previously, the 12 units are all PWL. Sorry. And so that means in Japan we have the 3 major plant vendor: Toshiba, Hitachi, Mitsubishi Heavy Industry. So each of the major plant vendor has its own operating plant. So that is very important in terms of the maintaining supply chain as well as the workforce is also.
Excellent. I mean, I think that we all are very happy to see the Japanese fleet restart and contribute well needed electricity to the
Yes.
Japanese grid. So can you share with us a little bit about the changing public acceptance and the new views with respect, of course, to nuclear energy in Japan?
I see. Okay. We have since the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant accident in 2011. We have experienced the rock bottom situation. So the very limited number of people supporting the nuclear power. But right now, gradually the supporter of the nuclear power is increasing. I think that behind this sea change, there is 3 factors. The number one is the energy security concern coming from actually the Russian invasion into the Ukraine, and also the people. Number 2 is the people are experiencing the high energy prices. And number 3 is expected energy growth coming from the utilization of the AI and data center. So all those factors have encouraged more balanced and a more balanced view of the nuclear power. So I think that's the current situation of the Japanese support.
I mean, that is very optimistic. I mean, it makes us all optimistic about moving forward in Japan. And I think that these 3 trends that you mentioned in Japan
Yes.
are not very different in many other countries in the world. I think that, we are seeing the public recognizing the essential role of nuclear. So, in that context, in the context of this growing energy demand, so obviously in Japan, you have been putting priority on restarting the existing units. But what is the status of potential new builds in Japan?
You're talking about the new build
New
project.
build projects,
Okay,
yes.
there is actually the one project is ongoing, which may lead to the new build project. Since 2011, the new build project practically off the table in Japan. But this February, the Japanese national policy has been changed. We are going to promote the maximum use of nuclear power. So that means the path to the new build has now opened to uh, the industry. So we have actually the 10 nuclear operator in Japan, and one of them is Kansai Electric Power. They just made an announcement about they are going to start a geological survey at one of the existing nuclear power plant. And of course, there is no official decision has not yet been made yet. However, this might have the lead to the new build project. It's very small step, but however, it's very important and meaningful and noteworthy step for the entire nuclear industry of Japan. And I hope this the survey of the conducted by the Kansai Electric will go smoothly and make a good result.
Yeah, no, again, I agree with you. I think it's great that Japan is not taking any options from the table, and obviously, as energy demand continues to grow, obviously nuclear energy could be additional new nuclear could be a key point for Japan. So. Thank you very much, Matsui-san, for coming to the Net Zero Nuclear Pavilion and give us an update of what's going on in Japan, in the nuclear industry in Japan. Thank you so
Okay, thank
much.
you very much for having me. Thank
Thank
you.
you.